Hello, I'm James Chincharo, one of the artists for Room for Art. Here's a quick video for those of you who couldn't make it onto Zoom recently for the air dry clay workshop. I will demonstrate the essentials for you to achieve a succulent plant relief sculpture. You will need air dry clay, which has been supplied in the materials box from Room for Art, or there is a DIY recipe so you can make your own. The recipe of this I've included. You should have also received the PDF of visuals, which we worked from during the session. If you wish, you can draw from some visuals to get inspiration for forms and colours. This should help you get a sense of scale and proportion and enable you to transfer your design onto the clay more easily. You might wish to do 2 or 3 brief drawings and then select from these. Equally, you may wish to create more than one plant piece depending on their size and how much clay you have. To begin working with the clay, start with a ball, then working your palms or on a flat surface, begin to pat out a round disc with a total finished thickness of 1.5 centimeters or half an inch. It's important at this stage to lay your piece onto a piece of paper so that when it dries, it doesn't shrink to the surface that it's laying on top of, and you can easily lift it away once you've done all the work. You can use a blunt knife from your cutlery drawer to flatten the clay to finish off. This makes a good surface for drawing out onto. Next, draw out the design for the drawing, thinking about the scale of the pot and the plant together. As the form is open to you and your interpretation, you are still free to alter your design as you go. Now to cut out the outline of the piece. Cutting down in several vertical cuts stops the clay from deforming as you go along, rather than cutting in one continuous line, which would tend to distort the shape. You can reuse the excess clay, so wrap it up in plastic to keep the moisture in there. For the next section, you should work out which areas you want to be raised and which areas you want to be further back, so making the depth in the piece. So first identify which areas are highest, which ones are lowest. Something like 3 or 4 layers will create a good amount of depth. From here you'll start cutting away the surface using the flat part of your knife. As you do this, try and keep a awareness of where the lines are that you're cutting up to and try and preserve those. Tidying up the corners and the edges as you go along. Supporting the clay like this with your other hand is useful, just to stop the suction from distorting the piece too much. Now you can start to tidy up the edges of the piece with the flat side of the knife. The piece will take something like 24 to 48 hours to dry, enough that you can start to paint it with your acrylic paints, using some of the inspiration perhaps that you took from the visuals to begin with. So as the piece dries out, you can start to refine the shape even more because it will be slightly harder. Either way, I hope you enjoy making your pieces and have fun with it. Thanks a lot. See you soon.